What's up, you good-looking Eorzeans? I'm Moxie, and we'll be going over a simple guide on A Realm Reborn's dungeon, the Castrum Meridianum. The goal of this guide is to provide players with some familiarity with this level 50 dungeon so you don't go in with anxiety, as well as shows the current tactics to make this run quick without having to dive too deep into this dungeon's mechanics. Most of this gameplay will be through the tank's perspective. Start off with the tank pulling aggro from every baddie. If you are new to tanking, this would be a great place to test your limits. Don't stress too much over dying, you gotta find your limits somehow. Turn off the 2 searchlight terminals and that will start the first cutscene. After the cutscene, the tank should be ready to use some of their defensive cooldowns, and the DPS should now focus on bursting down these baddies. Now this is one of them few spots where the tank can get their tush absolutely handed to them if they're not paying attention. Now once all the baddies are taken care of, go ahead and move into the boss area for another cutscene. As the tank, I will grab the boss's aggro and then pull his metal tushy over to the disposal chute. This allows for quicker access to the next area of the dungeon. When the boss is defeated, you will get another cutscene, and after the cutscene, go ahead and pull Luke Skywalker and hop into that disposal chute. Once you're out of the disposal chute, you'll make your way all the way up this metal ramp and you will trigger another cutscene. After the cutscene, the best approach to take is by having the tank pull aggro of all the baddies while making their way to the metal platforms at the end of the pathway. The party behind should be turning off all searchlights along the way. Now it is important for the tank to grab the aggro of the Magitech vanguards. They will hold the canister of incendiary number 37. These canisters are key items that are used to move on to the next section. This is also another one of them spots where the tank should be ready to use some of their defensive cooldowns. Now go ahead and burst down the rest of them baddies and move on to the metal platforms leading to the pumps. Tanks should quickly tick the aggro of the baddies on both right and left walkways. This will allow quick access for someone to use the canisters of incendiary number 37 on the unstable paneling on both sides of the pumps. Once both pumps have been destroyed, head back the way you came from and take the first path on the right to the next cutscene and boss. So there's nothing too special about this boss. I like to drag him to the doors on the right side over there, because once you take him down, there'll be another cutscene and these doors will be blasted open by Sid Boy. After the cutscene, pick up the Imperial identification key that the boss drops and continue forward. Wait for Sid to blow open the doors. Once the doors are taken down, the tank should take the lead and start pulling aggro of all the baddies in the area. And follow the path on the right. While the tank is being the Chad of the party, the rest of the party should focus on turning the spotlights off and doing what damage they can while on the move. The tank should be ready to use some of their defensive cooldowns because there's a lot of baddies in this area and they could dish out some real damage. No, seriously, they will kick your tush in if you are not careful enough. Have the tank pull aggro in front of these mortars over here and start doing your DPS. To clear the baddies faster, you can use the mortars, which do a huge amount of AoE damage. I highly recommend it. The faster you clear the enemies, the less likely your tanks will die. If the mortar breaks, just simply move over to another one and start using that one instead. Once the coast is clear, continue to the next area and head over to the section on the right. You're going to have to wait for Sid to catch up to you before the boss appears, but once it does, as the tank, I like to pull him way back over here where Sid is hanging out at, and I'll place the boss right in this template right here. This will allow Sid to do a little bit of damage to the boss, making it just a tidbit quicker to kill. Once the boss is down, there'll be another cutscene, and you'll want to pick up the Imperial identification key and head out of this area. Tanks should grab aggro of all baddies they pass. There are these little mini cannons here on the left you could use to quickly kill this group of baddies. You also come up to this Magitech Colossus. Kill it and then use the 2 keys that you've gained through the other bosses on the door here in order to open up to the next area. In this next area, it is important that you kind of stick to this left side and do not engage with the enemies over there on the right. These guys will despawn when you complete the next objective. Head up the metal walkways and the tank should take aggro from the baddies, so another one from the party can turn off the searchlights there. Once both of these searchlights are turned off, there'll be another cutscene and the enemies in the middle will disappear. After the cutscene, the party will want to use the 3 anti-aircraft cannons here to destroy the airship, and that's the only way that will allow you to continue into the next section. This magic tech colossus will always spawn over by this cannon and will instantly aggro anyone that is on the cannon, so the tanks need to be sure to keep those guys on the cannon safe. Once the aircraft is down, clear the remaining baddies and move into the final boss area. Take will take the aggro and keep the boss in the center of the map. This boss has a high resistance to normal attacks. To do decent damage, the rest of the party will need to load the artillery cannons on the side by interacting with the magic tech missiles. Once loaded, the cannons will glow red and you can use them on the boss for the big damages. Just know once you use it on the boss, it will likely grab its aggro, so it's your job to keep the boss in the center in range of all the other cannons. Baddies will spawn and try to break the cannon loaders. Take them out before they do. After you knock the Snow White off her high horse, you are on to your last fight. Now there's nothing too crazy about this fight. All you want to do is really just focus all your damage on her and just quickly burst her down. She goes down pretty fast. Yay! Congratulations, you did it! This dungeon will be added to your main scenario roulette, which you can do daily for a massive amount of experience. Try to always eat food before you do these dungeons because they give you a little bit of an XP boost. If you have any other helpful tips, please leave it down in the comments below, and thank you all, and we'll see you in the next one.